Hello everybody, welcome to episode 24 of the Digimon RE 20th series here, and as I'm knocking down stuff apparently, bit of a later video, because you see the Mons are asleep currently. One of these type ones, where I've kind of done a lot of things today. Well, what was it? Worked for a bit, and then came home, went to the mall, which was kind of weird, I don't know. People in the house were like, yeah, let's go to the mall, and then I was like, you know what, let's go, why not? So, went to the mall, picked up some random stuff, picked up mainly games. They did have some cool Digimon stuff out there, but it was mainly just the card game. And I do not know how to play the card game. Never learned how to play it or anything. And I don't know if it'd be worthwhile to go play the game or not. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, do I really want to go and play a random card game? I'd love to learn the original Digimon card game, like the one that was used in Tamers. But I think that's pretty much the only time I think I've ever really been interested in the overall card game aspect. But overall, we have done everything so far with the Mons. So, for example, I have gotten the 15 battles in tag for both these guys, so they are set for evolution. So, that's pretty much just it for these guys. And just be doing this type of fun for a bit of the time period, because it's pretty much all I have going on. But yeah, so overall, we should just be waiting for these guys to do stuff. I think that pretty much just ends that whole... Yeah, okay. Pretty much that ends up all the random stuff right there. So I'm going to probably put these guys back into the bed thing in a minute. I don't know. Have to figure out what I want to do with them in general, because pretty much we're waiting for them to evolve. I've done the battles and everything. Just waiting for him to get past the one stage on the Silver Black, which, look at the sleeping animation for Andromon, by the way. That's such a weird sleeping animation. Like, he's very cubed shaped. Is he like a transformer? Like, is he like transforming into like a weird shape? I don't know, I just noticed that, like, because like that one looks like a normal sleeping pose. What is it? Larvarmon or whatever. I forget how to actually pronounce the name. But that one looks more like a thing. His toothless looking dragon self right there. But then you look at Andromon, and it's like, what is that supposed to be? It looks like he's like a transformer, but like it's still incomplete in a way. So it's like, you see his like head bend down, and then like his body's all weirdly shaped. Because then if you wake him up, I'm not going to wake up the dragon guy, because he's not doing much. I've already done the battles for him, we did those like the other day. So, everything's already been done for him. I actually overdid the battles too. But for Andromon over here, we're just kind of waiting on him, because I don't want to immediately progress him. I could, but I'm not going to, because I feel like that would kind of be like a bit of a, hey, too early type thing. But it's like, it's one of these weird little episodes here where I'm like trying to figure out what to do, because everything's kind of been done. So it's like, I will clean off the poop on the screen though. But yeah, so not much has gone on today. So, I did the battles earlier. I actually kind of did them in, like, a middle of a, like, shoe store. All, like, waiting for other people, like, because they were messing around with clothing or whatever. And I was just sitting on a bench going, battle, 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 battle. Pretty much doing that the whole entire time. Yes, you can imagine me in public. I just sit there and, because, like, unlike the other pendulums where, like, you can easily just sit down and be like, short shake, short shaking or whatever. These use an accelerometer, so that means, like, you have to do, like, some long shakes or whatever. So I'm over here just, like, in the middle being like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just sitting on a random bench. I wonder what people think of me sometimes. I don't know. Do they even care? Probably not. Let's be honest. But yeah, so pretty much just doing this all day. A lot of shaking. Shaking the bacon. Which is good for me, because these guys needed to lose some weight anyway, so. So just like this one, for example. Actually, he's actually lost a decent amount of weight, because by this point, I've just done nothing but train him down. Because these guys were pretty fat, because they all had the weird effort things, and so slimmed them all back down. They are back to what I would call their goal weights or whatever. And even for this side, they're all kind of back to their own little goals, I think. they're not as such weirdly positioned anymore. Probably skin them down a bit more though. Especially these guys, because these guys were really fat for a little bit there, and now I've kind of like gotten their weight back down. Didn't probably make a Vmon fat, but I kind of did. So, ooh, my fault there. But yeah, overall, these guys are doing pretty well. So now we're just waiting for them to evolve, get that out of the way, and just pretty much it. So, woohoo for me. I don't know what else to say. I'm like, it's one of those things where it's like one of these days where not much is going on. Currently waiting for this guy right here to evolve, which I need to look at what time he'll evolve. I forget. Because, like, from champion to the next stage, it's like 40 hours. For these guys right here, it's 48 hours. So that's all they do is they add an extra 8 hours to the evolution process. Well, it's like a 48 hours, so they gotta wait like 2 full days. But for me with these guys, it's just got a 40-hour right there, and then he'll evolve. Then we got Andromon, which is just a simple Geograss, very simple one. Gotta combine the two, and then there you go. And I did actually get the Geograssing right, by the way. So I did actually look back and after the video was done and look into the Geograssing efforts. So to Geograss the Andromon, you just needed a vaccine type. And currently we are using a mislabeled, what was it, Mamamon? Because, fun fact, apparently, the Mamamon from the, what was it, 20th device is apparently, I don't know why I was pointing that direction, like, y'all can see what's all over there. But, I guess I could go grab it for y'all real quickly. Move it over. So as y'all know, we took a random Mon from this device right here. This is just a basic brick 20th device or whatever. So I did take a Mon from this one and just use it as a little Geograssing buddy. So that's what I kind of just perfectly did. Took him, slapped him on over to this side, and then I found out that he wasn't a data type, he was a vaccine type because there was a error on Bandai's side where they mislabeled this little Mon right here. Let's see. Go through it again. Bloop, 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 bloop. Yeah, this Mon. He's actually labeled as a vaccine type instead of a data type. So, fun little error there. But I'll be using him to Geograss with Andromon over here. And we'll be using him to get Machine Dramon, which is super exciting for me. Also, I own a lot of those brick devices, by the way. Like, I own, like, what was it, 3 or 4 of them or whatever. Random assortment. And just think I'm buying, and I bought another one recently because I'm like crazy. I'm a crazy man. Actually, I just kind of bought one because, what was it? I've been trying to get one of like the original like Japanese release ones, and I finally got a hold of one of them, and I was like super excited about that. Especially even got the color I wanted too, which is super exciting for me because it's just one of those random things where it's like, ooh, I would love to get like an original, like from the get-go release of the devices, because in the original Pendulum, or not original, but in the original Brick 20th devices, they had like a whole online battling feature that was pretty much only used like once, but I still love to have that little like note in history or whatever to it. Though I do know the original Brick like devices have some issues. For example, they have like the main issue with the resetting or whatever, which, to be honest, for me, would be not much of a pain. I'm okay with it, especially because I wouldn't really use it too much. I don't know. I have so many of the brick devices now that I just kind of rotate them around, because it kind of just depends on what special egg I'm wanting out of them. Because, like these devices here, where they have their own unique eggs or whatever, the original 20th devices also had their unique eggs, and they were just kind of released depending on version. So, kind of just do the same thing with that, but instead of multiple eggs, it's just like 1 egg per device. And since for a while there, it should still be cheap actually, but the 20th bricks for a while there were cheap. I've heard that people are trying to raise the prices of them, which is crazy to me because like hundreds of these things exist. For example, I own like a bunch of them, so I really doubt they'd ever get expensive. If they do get expensive, I think that's just a fail on the collectors community, to be honest. Or not a fail in the collector's community. I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know how a scalper can make a device worthwhile. I don't know, same thing happened with Earthbound. It's one of those situations where it's like, there's multiple copies out there. How was it worth that much money? Like, it's like when you find out, like, someone bought, like, a copy of Mario Bros. 1 for, like, almost, like, $500,000. And you're like, how did they get that much money for a game that was bundled with every Nintendo system? Or every NES? That's, like, that situation right there. Because it's like if the original Tamagotchis became rare. It's like, how would that happen? Especially when, like, almost, like, 20 different shell variations exist of the originals. Same with, like, Digimon 20th devices. Like, I don't understand how that would work out in a way. If it's, like, they were trying to say it's, like, one scalper, like, trying to change pricing or whatever like that. But I'm like, that's such an easy fix. It's like, all what has to happen is just a bunch of people have to sell their devices. And that's pretty much it. Heck, Bandai could just sit down and produce more of those things. I'm shocked they don't, by the way. Like, I get they did it for a few years, but it's like, shocked Bandai didn't milk the cow with Digimon like they did with Tamagotchi. Like, there's so many shell variations and package variations of the originals right here that it's crazy. Meanwhile, Digimon, on the other hand, didn't go as crazy with it, and I kind of wonder why. Because, like, Digimon usually has the bigger marketing potential and stuff like that. I don't know. It's one of those things I look back on and I'm like, how did that not happen? In a weird sense. One of those, like, I look back at it and I'm like, that's weird. I get, like, they tried releasing, like, each independent version of devices, which I think that was probably the bigger mistake on the side of the Digimon branding team. Because, like, instead of, like, focusing on, like, 50 million releases, like the Tamagotchis or whatever, of, like, the same variation, they focused on trying to do, like, different types of devices, which works out pretty well, but I think the bigger issue was the device picks they went for or whatever. Because, like, I do think they probably should have gone for the 20th, the Pendulum 20th after the original brick devices, and then introduce the X devices. I say that because, like, you compare these to, like, the whatever devices. I feel like even if you did it, like, after the fact, it would have been one of those things where it's, like, you would have had one and then the other. Because, like, you would have had the original, the 20th device or whatever, and then you would go to the Pendulum device. And then after that, you'd be like, okay, I got my fill of, like, the sort of original style. And then you'd do the X devices, and then you'd go back to, like, this original style. Which, that's what the Japanese releases did. They did, like, the sort of basic releases. Then they did the X releases, and then they were like, okay, let's take a step back. And then they, like, did the version R, and then the colors and stuff like that. And now we're moving on towards the next step of, like, crossovers and stuff. Which I kind of think that's what they probably should have done. Like, give a little bit of space for people to mess around with, like, the one era of devices, and then, like, you always need the basics, but I feel like you would also need, like, to experiment a bit. And that's what, like, Tamagotchi does all the time. They just have the basics, but then they also experiment with, like, the nanos, and then they'll go back to doing, like, a basic device, and then, like, they'll do a color device out of nowhere. Like, you just gotta, like, take it in steps or whatever. Digimon ever kind of did that. One of those weird things. I know it's just one of those random moments. But I'll probably end the episode now because, I'll be honest, I've been going on a bit too much of a ramble spree. So, hopefully, this episode's good enough. Sorry for a bit of the rambling today. It's just one of those things where it's like, I don't have much to talk about today. Well, I apparently have 14 minutes of stuff to talk about, but hopefully people like this episode. I don't know. Just one of the whatever episodes of it. Thank y'all for watching, and we will see you next time. I might... No, I'm not going to spoil things yet. Back and forth on what I'll probably be doing for tomorrow. These devices, we will probably be doing the Jogress on this side for Andromon. These two over here should be maybe evolving tomorrow. I don't know what time they'll evolve tomorrow. This guy right here, Larvaromon or whatever heck his name is, will be evolving, though. So we'll be on this guy right here. We'll be going to the ultimate stage. We have to do another set of battles for him. And then these guys should be evolving soon. And then we'll be doing a drug rush for this side. All the fun for us. And then we'll probably just do some connection battles and stuff like that, because why not? I still need to look up getting an ACOM, I know. Need to do that one day. Well, not one day. Need to do it just soon. But, that's pretty much it. We'll probably have some Digimail tomorrow, because I think I have a random piece of mail, and it is a cool piece of mail. It's one of those more random things. It's not a VPET, but it's one of those cool Digimon things where it's like, I gotta talk about it. So, why not? But, that's pretty much it. See y'all later. Bye-bye-bye.